Madam President, I'd like to recognize the Iowa Governor, Terry Branstad, on a very significant historical milestone. On December 14th this year, Governor Branstad will become the longest-serving governor in the nation's history. He happens to break a record set by a Governor Clinton of New York, early parts of our country, even before our country, a Constitution was established, between the Articles of Confederation into the early years of New York as a state in the United States of America. That's a pretty large feather in the cap of a farm kid from the town of Leland, population 289, in Winnebago County, northern Iowa. In many ways, a small town farm background prepared Terry Branstad for his success as a state House member, lieutenant governor, and then governor on two separate occasions, adding up to, if he finishes his term, and he will, 24 years as governor. The farm crisis of the 1980s hit every farm state hard, and Iowa, at the heart of the nation's breadbasket, suffered deeply. All of us who lived in Iowa at that time saw friends and neighbors lose their family farms and struggle with what to do next for a living. The state needed men and women with vision and ambition to pull the economy out of the doldrums. It needed people who could see the potential for farmers to add value to their operations and for Iowa to diversify its economy, which it has now done. Of all the people out there, Terry Branstad was governor, and he stood out as one of those people. He was at the forefront of creating a new environment to do business. He welcomed and actively encouraged innovation that would capitalize on Iowa's bedrock work ethic and our strong schools. As a result, agriculture was and continues to be a mainstream of Iowa's economy. But agriculture, more than ever, is an engine for many other employment sectors: renewable energy, manufacturing, crop research, insurance and financial services, and of course, as we Iowans know, much more. As governor from 1983 to 1999, Terry Branstad took the helm during some of the state's worst economic turmoil in decades and steered the ship towards impressive economic growth. The unemployment rate went from 8.5% to a record low of 2.5%. The governor could have rested on those laurels and continued to work outside of state government after he retired after those first 16 years, but he again answered the call when the state needed him again in 2010. He put the state of Iowa's interest ahead of his own and went to work for Iowans this second time, bringing his valuable leadership to the governor's office for another round. That, in a nutshell, tells you everything you need to know about Terry Branstad. The state of Iowa comes first for him. Iowans are well acquainted with Terry Branstad's accomplishments and work ethic. It's gratifying to see those attributes get written on a national scale and in the history books. He's earned his place in history. Of course, First Lady Christine Branstad ought to be complimented too. We thank her for her public service and, most importantly, for sharing her family with all Iowans. We're lucky to have had Governor Terry Branstad for these years as chief executive in Iowa, and of course, I'm lucky to call him a friend. I yield the floor.